So, you want to get into NASCAR custom diecast making, do you? Well, I will be producing different installments in this series of the process and what I've learned in the last 7 years of doing this. So, what we see here are 3 cars that obviously have already been taken apart. And for the keen observer of NASCAR diecast collectors, I suppose, you already know that these are customs that were not produced by Lionel. And that's the whole point of producing customs, making things that are either very hard to find or things that have never been produced by any of the big companies. So that's what got me into doing this. I was sorting through the last of my collection, and I wanted to spice things up by making things that I've always wanted to make, and got into it in early adulthood. And so I think this is my final year of doing it, and before hanging it up, I want to pass on what I know to the next person. So, we have to be smart. And this is where we learn that patience is a virtue, and you'll see it in your work at the very end. There are so many steps to this, and it takes a while. It took me a while to get semi-decent at this. So, yeah. This is a 2021 Riley Herbst car that was made by somebody in Canada, and I bought a whole lot of his Xfinity diecast to make a stop motion with, and that happened, but I never did anything with it, as well as this Brandon Brown 68, and I'm taking these apart to make current Xfinity cars. And then this is going to be a Ricky Craven number 50 Midwest Transit car from 2000 that will be featured in a stop motion video very soon. So you want to take these apart, of course, with a power drill. And to give you some perspective, you want to drill just like this. I believe this is a 1/8 of an inch to fit the rivets on the bottom of the cars. Take them apart. And when you do so, you have to be very careful that you don't make a super wide hole. I mean, I guess this is okay, but sometimes the sides get chipped and what have you. So, and sometimes you'll get a car with screws in them. If it's anything Lionel produced from late 2013 to maybe mid 2015, they will more than likely have screws in them. And so those are easy to take out and put back together. But then you get to this part here, and for whatever reason on those cars, I think that's the PTC mold, they are such a pain in the butt to take out. And it's easy to crack the windows on those. Not so much on an old car, on an old Team Caliber Chevy like this. But on those, you can crack them very easily. So just in general, you want to be careful when removing them. Don't rush it. Don't rush anything in this process, because my goodness, it'll show, and either things will go completely awry, or at the very end you'll be potentially dissatisfied with what your final product is. So when you do take the parts out of the car, you get a cockpit piece, you get an undercarriage piece, and the windshield, rear windshield, and the 2 sets of wheels, obviously. And typically there's a dash with it too, but I don't know where it is from this Riley Herbst car. You always want to keep your parts together, and one of these little sandwich bags is probably ideal. I would advise that you label them as well. You can get 40 of these for $1.25 at Dollar Tree. So these are really great to have to just stay organized. Your time is important, and you don't want to have to spend it sifting through hundreds of parts and pieces like I did stupidly. and waste all that time and potentially mix up your parts and not have an accurate car. And what may fit one car may not fit the next. So I have this Dale Jarrett car over here that's missing a proper undercarriage because I probably put a 2003 that fit a 2003 Ford Taurus undercarriage on a 2007 Ford Fusion body, and somehow that fit, but they're not interchangeable somehow. I believe that's what happened, because I cannot find the bottom of that car. Anyway, yeah, so that's basically, that's the gist of the very beginning. That's kind of I'd say that's probably the easiest part of the process. Then comes the painting, then comes the decaling, and all the other stuff, which I'll have videos on later on. So, until then, have a good one.